Trejos, and this is
Very few fights can be called super fights. This is one of them.
Triple G won the first fight.
Canelo lost that fight.
This is a draw.
The people know who won.
There's only one thing left to do. Rematch.
It got personal, it got nasty.
Use drugs.
Pues siempre me gusta respetar a los rivales, normalmente. El que no me respeta, pues tampoco lo respeto, ¿no?
Who will be the middleweight champion of the world?
Canelo pushed back the monster.
Good hard right hand by Golovkin.
And new WBC WBA.
It's time to see the trilogy.
This is perfect time for both guys to come back and test each other.
GGG has to take it out of the judge's hand.
Canelo smashes him.
For as long as this fight lasts, it's gonna be epic.
Тот момент был не тем, кем он является вот сейчас в данном.
Al final de cuentas nos vamos a subir y nos vamos a dar en la madre, ¿no? Todos.
This fierce rivalry has been burning for the last 5 years. As they get ready to face each other for the third time, let's explore the origins of this very personal feud.
Here's the thing, whenever you despise someone, whenever you grow to hate somebody, you have to first admire and love them, or appreciate them, or respect them.
У нас было, по-моему, пару тренировочных сборов совместно. Ну, то есть это было давно, это было другое время.
You know, these guys knew each other for a long time ago. You know, they actually sparred in Big Bear. They were in similar camps.
На тот момент он был, я говорю, он был молодым бойцом. И
So they had that admiration and respect for each other.
тот момент был не тем, кем он является вот сейчас в данный момент.
And that went out the window, and now you could see the vile hate that they have towards each other.
Canelo and GGG have more beef than a butcher's shop. To really understand how it went from respect and admiration to vile hate, you have to rewind back to 2015.
It was obvious who the two best middleweights on the planet was at that time, Gennady Golovkin and Canelo Alvarez.
Triple G was the king of the middleweight division and probably the most avoided fighter in all of boxing.
He was undefeated and knocking everybody out.
But that's the reason he never had a super fight. None of the big names at the time wanted anything to do with him.
Those rumours that Canelo was avoiding Triple G, I don't think that's the case.
From what I see from Canelo, he likes a challenge, so I doubt that. A lot of us fighters, we just want to fight each other.
Triple G said that you were afraid of him. He said that you were nothing.
No le tengo miedo a nadie. Y ya estamos a un día de que vea quién es el Canelo.
But he made him wait more than 2 years in order to get that big payday. So finally in 2017, Triple G lands the big Canelo fight.
Well, I'm smiling now at remembering how I felt when that first fight got announced. Two legends, two icons facing each other, and it was just electric.
But there's a catch.
So when the fight gets made, Canelo, look, is the biggest draw. He's the A side, but Triple G is the unified champion. He gets treated almost like the beast.
Active recovery is essential. I wear UFOs because my training never stops. I'm a world champion. The pressure is on. This is legacy. UFOs keeps me at the top of my game.
Triple G didn't appreciate that too much.
I think somebody who had achieved as much as Triple G had, but it could have potentially affected his ego, having that challenger status.
Yeah, I definitely think, like, in a way, you're going to be a bit like, what the hell, I'm the champ. And it probably would, because you want to be treated like the champion.
Canelo Alvarez in an interview said, you might have the belts, but you're a fake champion, that he's going to knock you out. What do you say to that?
I see you tomorrow. I see you tomorrow.
Pueden decir muchas cosas o hablar y decir. Ya ahorita, en este momento, las palabras salen sobrando y mañana es cuando se cobran.
So even before the opening bell, that love and admiration that Sergio was talking about had already turned into something else.
The stage was set. After a long wait, boxing fans finally got what they wanted. Gennady Golovkin, Canelo Alvarez facing off in Las Vegas. The excitement around this first fight was enormous. What happened that night in that ring will forever live in boxing fans' memory, but not necessarily for the right reasons.
Very few fights can be called super fights. This is one of them.
The feeling going into that first fight was finally, Gennady Golovkin will get the true test because the elite wouldn't go anywhere near him. Finally, Golden Boy will put Canelo in with one of the biggest names in the middleweight division.
You couldn't get two men together in the ring that would bring more in terms of skill, class, pedigree, and experience.
So it was just that feeling that two juggernauts are finally getting in the ring.
Good luck touching my business one day.
We're underway, round number 1.
Canelo's team made Triple G wait for years for this opportunity. They wanted Alvarez to grow into middleweight.
Canelo had a really strong start, and it looked as though that was how the fight was going to go. The pattern was set. But when two great men are in the ring, that's often not the case.
Nothing surprised me about the game plans. I think, if anything, it was surprising at how well they were taking each other's punches.
Good combinations by Canelo Alvarez and a body shot there. Now, back comes Triple G.
I wasn't surprised at neither of their ability to take a punch because that's what made them.
Right-handed by Golovkin. Canelo says no, but it landed.
Canelo, in 40-plus fights, we've seen him get hit. His knees don't buckle. He doesn't even show you the effects. I was surprised Canelo was on the back foot. This is a Mexican superstar who made a career going forward, Mexican style, digging the body, breaking down fighters. But against the big drama show, he met, a Kazakhstan version of himself, and he couldn't back him up. So he decided to box him, which was the wrong game plan for a guy that really doesn't have swift feet.
It was big punches being landed every round by both guys. I remember that fight being very, very hard to judge.
Golovkin was the stronger fighter, the bigger man, the harder puncher.
The jabs was the difference with Golovkin. He's one of the best jabbers in boxing.
What you could also see, the speed of Canelo Alvarez.
That was a huge right hand by Canelo Alvarez there. Pushed Gennady Golovkin's head right back.
His speed was blinding in that fight. That's how he scored the majority of his shots.
Now we've got a war.
It looks like Canelo's fighting in front of a mirror right now.
And it's back and forth, and there are two warriors going at it.
It was almost seesaw all the way through.
Great fight so far. 3 minutes left.
Got it 106-103 in favor of Gennady Golovkin.
Good jab work there. Right hands, and now very good work by Canelo. Canelo fighting to the final bell. Triple G comes back. And that's it.
I thought that Triple G won that fight. It was so close.
Canelo lost that fight.
You hear this crazy just score.
Adelaide Bird scores it 118-110 for Canelo.
One of the worst scorecards of all time. It might be the worst scorecard of all time.
How is that possible that she only gave Triple G like 2 rounds the whole fight?
118-110 is ridiculous.
Dave Moretti scores it 115-113 for Triple G. And Don Trella scores it 114-114, a 3-way split. This is officially a draw.
Well, there is a stunning outcome.
In the aftermath of Canelo Golovkin, a great fight between two great fighters, we were talking about boxing judging screwing it up again.
In the midst of all the controversy, it was easy to forget we had a great boxing match. And after the result of this first fight, the only thing left to do was to do it all over again. And this is exactly when the bad blood between Canelo and Gennady started. After this fight, fans were furious, and both fighters felt robbed by the judges.
Who wouldn't feel robbed after hearing scores like that?
That was like bullshit. In such a big fight like that, you're gonna be scarred, you're gonna be...
Я уверен, что в этом поединке было сделано достаточно для победы. И не я один в этом убежден.
Canelo, of course, thought he won.
Yo no estaba contento con el empate que dieron.
There's only one thing left to do. Rematch.
All right, let's get these two guys back in the ring, and let's get this figured out once and for all.
Everything changed when Canelo tested positive for a banned substance, clenbuterol. You guys remember that. It was caused by eating contaminated meat.
Canelo gets a 6-month ban, and that delays the rematch.
Golovkin didn't believe the contaminated meat story, and it was around that time the whole tone of the rivalry went up a notch.
It changed the tone of the buildup. Golovkin had declared to anyone with a microphone that Canelo Alvarez,
He used drugs or not used drugs.
his accomplishments weren't real. He was a cheater, and he should be branded such for the rest of his career.
He's feels just for what?
Increased the animosity between the two men tenfold. And you could tell going into that fight that Canelo wanted to prove that Golovkin was full of
No tengo nada que decirle. Creo que ellos saben el peleador que soy.
He used pills and he's muscle, just injection to muscles.
Look, it got personal, it got nasty. The beef going into the rematch with these two was very, very real.
The animosity between the two fighters made the hype around the rematch huge. Almost a year to the date after the first fight, Canelo and Gennady face each other again in Las Vegas, both fighters looking to right the wrongs of a year before.
Trunks are good here, Trunks are good there. Buena suerte. Good luck.
I don't know if Canelo would have fought the way he fought in the second fight if there hadn't been so much bad blood.
You see Golovkin backing up. Canelo's the one inching his way forward, unlike the first fight where Golovkin was a pressure fighter the entire fight.
In that second fight, he came out like a man looking to bully the bull.
All of a sudden, he has this shorter, stronger, faster Mexican backing him up, and he doesn't know why. He doesn't know how to react.
Good hook. That's a great hook by Canelo Alvarez. That is a hard jab as well being thrown by Alvarez.
This was maybe the first time in Gennady Golovkin's career where somebody pushed him backwards.
This is Mexican style. This is what Golovkin wanted the first fight. Well, he's getting it now, and Canelo's getting the better of it.
1 second.
Such a high level of concentration. The fight at close quarters. And vicious for every second.
Stand that shit up tight. Yeah. Let's wear his ass out. Let's knock him out, all right? Come on.
As a Triple G fan, it was Triple G just don't get hit as much as you did in the first fight, and you'll win it.
Both picking up the work rate, fighting at a more furious pace.
Canelo came to the ring with a game plan that was different from the first fight. It frustrated me to see Triple G fight the exact same way that he had fought the previous fight.
Canelo Alvarez seemingly in control of this fight.
Everyone's seen the difference in Canelo. He went forward. He pushed back the monster. And let me tell you something about monsters. They don't like being pushed back.
This is a brutal fight, war of attrition already. You can see it by their faces. The rematch is brutal. Hard right hand again. He's throwing uppercuts. He's throwing hard right hands. And he's making it work. Hook to the body as well. A good uppercut by Golovkin, as now he seems to be answering the call. Good hard right hand by Golovkin.
Golovkin still landed some big shots. He still operated behind a pretty good jab.
It bloodied Canelo's nose right there with that power jab. That was a big right hand there by Golovkin.
Golovkin lands that right after landing some jabs. Now moving his head. He knows he's got to move. Can't stand right in front of Gennady Golovkin. No, sir.
But he was not the aggressor for the very first time in his career.
Inside power shots by Canelo Alvarez, trying his hooks and his uppercuts. Now a right hand.